Hey there, welcome back to the channel. My name is Carrie with bluescitypickin, and if you're new here, I'm a part-time reseller who goes around to estate sales, thrift stores, sometimes garage sales, and online auctions to find things to flip for a profit on eBay. This is another episode of Vlogmas. If you are coming back the next day, thank you so much for joining me. We are mixing things up over Vlogmas to see what folks like. We've got What Sold, Shop With Me's, Ship With Me's, that's a new one, and research videos in addition to my regular kind of haul and what sold. So if you like that kind of content, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe. This is Ching number 87. This is what sold on the 26th and 27th of November, so the day before Thanksgiving and on Thanksgiving. I am currently running a 20% off sale from Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday. So my margins are a little bit lower than what I would have normally gotten because of that sale, but I'm still okay with it. And sometimes you got to do what you got to do to stay competitive through the holidays and continue to move inventory out. I will drop that sale off after Monday though and start just doing offers and things like that again. We had 19 items head out the door across 19 orders. Total gross sales for those 2 days is $432.56. That is inclusive of shipping and taxes. I had $300.32 is what I agreed upon with the buyer. I had $96.67 into these items, and we will talk about that in just a minute. And that means a profit of $132.70 or $6.98 per item, which is incredibly low. However, if I take out my one really bad decision and then my tops chrome cards that I've been selling, that average does come up to around $8.50, so not as bad, but still not great. I had one non-bread and butter item over this 2-day period. So reselling is not all sunshine and lollipops. It is hard, and you know, sometimes you just gotta muscle through when the numbers aren't as great. And like I've said before, I do live my life in averages, so I don't get too wrapped up in these bad couple of days. Let's see. I do go worst sale to best. I had something that sold in a day. My max was $5.39, and I was happy to get that moved out. And then my average was $1.38. First thing that sold was a Dooney & Bourke large brown editor's tote, nylon, leather straps, hot pink interior, and it did have the charm. Unfortunately, I did buy this off of ThredUp for $28.08. Not a lot of activity on it. Went back and forth with this buyer. They started their offer at $25. It was on sale for $39. I knew that was basically the lowest I could go and still make money on it. So I countered at $37. They came back at $27. I declined. They made an offer at $34. I came back at $37 again, and then they finally accepted. So I lost 53 cents on this after 52 days, but I've learned my lesson. I don't know why I continue to buy things off of ThredUp to sell. They just don't sell for the profit margins that I want. I know some people have had good luck with it, but I don't think it's for me. But I do like to try out things every once in a while and see if maybe it was just what I had purchased before versus now. So I haven't lost money before on anything I've bought from ThredUp, but they do tend to sit for a while. So I'm probably going to have to rethink buying anything from there again. Next is an Emily Ann of Boca Raton hand-painted leather purse bag, antelope art to wear. I paid $7.43 for this at our local Goodwill back in October of 2024. Thought it was going to sell for a lot more. It was really cute. It finally sold for $13, and so I made $1.33 after 391 days. But I got my $7.43 back, and I'm going to put that into better stuff. The next 3 items are all Topps Chrome cards. I think if you've been here before, you know my family is a collector family, and we've been opening up some of these cards, keeping the ones we want and selling off the ones we don't. And these were all ones that we did not necessarily want to keep. First was a Forky 2025 Disney Icons card. It sold for $1, and so I made $1.46 on it. Not sure how that works. Next up is a Mufasa refractor card from the animated Lion King. Sold for $1.20, and I made $1.64. That does not seem right, but okay. 2025 yellow mini diamond Mike Wazowski, sold for $2, and I made $2.34. I do recoup some money on shipping. Not a bunch, so I'm not sure. Next up is something that went overseas, and so I had to do a customs label for this beauty. Picked this up on a Whatnot auction from On the Hunt with Courtney. I've picked up several things from her, not high dollar flips, but good bread and butter to fill in when I'm not able to get to the thrift store, which is a lot more frequent lately than I would like that I haven't been able to make it. This is a Red Man America's Best Chewing Tobacco Solid Brass Vintage Belt Buckle. I had $5.95 cost of goods on that show. Sold for $11.20, and so I made $2.45 after 8 days. Next is something I've had for 539 days. So it's a vintage London Fog limited edition trench coat. Women's size, extra small with a beige hood. I paid $8 for this at an estate sale back in May of 2024. Finally sold for $15.96, and so I made $3.81, but it's gone. Next item is a cookbook. This was a vintage 1995 Simple Elegance cookbook from Germantown, Tennessee, a culinary collection. It was actually a hardback. Had $1 into this from an auction win a few weeks ago where I bought a bookshelf filled with a bunch of stuff. It sold for $9.95, and so I made $6.15 after 15 days. Next item is an Eileen Fisher gray black merino wool yak asymmetrical cow neck sweater in a size large. I did pay $7.33 for this at a regular Goodwill back in August. Got an offer for $20, which I accepted, and I made $7.77 after 106 days. Strangely enough, I had 2 things at 539 days. That's super weird. This is something that I have slowed down significantly on buying. This is an Anchor Hocking Fire Met King Meadow Green Milk Glass Casserole dish. It was oval, had the lid. Paid $5.99 for this at a regular Goodwill in May of 2024. It finally sold for $19.80, and so I made a whopping $8.06. Yeah. Anyway, next item is something that sold fairly quickly. This is a set of 2 amber glass turkey taper candle toothpick holders. I paid $1 each for these at the Goodwill, so $2.13 with tax just a couple weeks ago. It sold for $15.20, and so I made $8.36 after 11 days. Happy with that one. Next item is a OEM GM passenger rear carpeted floor mat. You can see the numbers on there. This is from a 2021 Yukon. Nothing into these. Sold for $10, and so I made $8.88 after 533 days. Next item is a 511 Tactical. If you're not familiar with that brand, I've sold a couple things from that brand over the last 2 years. It seems to sell okay. Not for a ton of money. I know there are certain pieces there in that brand that do sell better. Maybe I will do a research video on that. But this was a daily grind gym bag. I put workout backpack, sack pack. I paid $7.09 for these at a regular Goodwill back at the end of October. Sold for $19, and so I made $9.57 after 22 days. Next item is a Coach leather small wristlet wallet, green navy. Let's see. I paid $5.25 for this at a local thrift store back in August. It sold for $19.96, and so I made $9.58 after 47 days. It was not in the best condition. It should have been able to sell for more, and I did try to rejuvenize the leather a little bit with my Doc Martens Wonder Balsam. I don't think it likes me because it's seeing all these other things back here. Doc Martens Wonder Balsam, if you've never used it, you should grab some. And it just didn't really rejuve as much as I would have liked, so I put it on a lower price. Next item is a pair of JB Dillon women's boots, size 8B, teal brown, Cowboy Rodeo Festival. I paid $8.23 for these at a local thrift store on a 50% off day back in March. Got an offer for $25, which I accepted, and I made $10.18 after 250 days. But they're gone. I feel like you're getting a lot of but they're gones today. I haven't made good choices, guys. Be a better reseller than me. Do better than I do. Next is a Nerf Wii Sports Pack. Nintendo wheel, tennis, racket, golf, baseball bat, handles, and attachments. I had 99 cents into this from a Goodwill back in October. Sold for $15.20, and so I made $10.22 after 41 days, which I'm really happy with. Next was a quick seller, and I knew it would be, or I had hoped it would be. This is a Disney Atlantis Lost Empire die-cast vehicle, Leviathan. It was new old stock. I paid $1.02 for this at a Goodwill just last week. It sold for $15.20, and so I made $10.58 after just 4 days. Easy lister, easy shipper, $10 bill. So I was happy with that. Next item is a pair of Bed Stew, which is a great brand if you're not familiar with it. These were penny loafer women, size 7, dark red, distressed leather. Picked these up the same day I picked up that Atlantis vehicle. I paid $8.18 for these. I got an offer for $25, which I went ahead and accepted and made $12.94 after 2 days. The reason I went ahead and accepted that for $25, I think I had them listed at $35 to $40. There were a lot listed. There were a lot in the same price range, and it was a size 7, which is a smaller size. So I went ahead and accepted it to move on, make my $12.94, recoup my $8, and invest that $20 into something else. Quick nickel versus slow dime sometimes, which is what I did on these last few items. Next up is a Funko Pop vinyl. This is a Mewtwo 10-inch figure, Target exclusive. This came from a room clean out that my oldest kiddo did back in probably over the summer or September, but I didn't get it listed till October. It sold for $24.65, and so we made $17.91 after 47 days. So $132.70 in just 2 days. I'll take it. I think across these items, I spent about 30 to 40 minutes shipping, because there were some breakable ones in there. The sourcing of these, looks like I got a lot of them on similar trips. So I probably didn't spend too much time on it. And a lot of these were easy listers, mostly easy shippers, but it still takes time to get 20 items out the door. Is where the profits came from. 52% of the profits came from Goodwill items, 24% from home, 14% from other, and then a mishmash of auctions and estate sales. Clothing, shoes, and accessories, 43% of the profit. Household items, kitchen decor, etc., 31%. Collectibles, 26%, and nothing really in just like the toy category. It was mostly collectibles that went out. And when I say collectibles, it's things that are vintage type toys. Sometimes I will tag toys, but like the cards are clearly collectibles. The Funko is clearly a collectible. I guess I could have put the Atlantis thing in a toy and not a collectible because it was new old stock though. it wasn't just a lot of loose figures. I did tag that as collectibles. I hope your holiday season is going great. If you like this kind of content, during the normal season, I do put out 3 videos a week. I am playing around with that content to see what folks like. Traditionally, my what sold videos have done the best, but I am totally open to incorporating more shop with me's with my hauls and what sold and ship with me's, just to have it more of a fully rounded reseller content. But let me know what you'd like to see, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for stopping by, and happy Vlogmas. Bye.